design this one ahead of time. I'm just going to try and rip out a bait really quick because I just want to paint something. But I want to try and make this one a suspended jerk bait. Jerk bait. This bait's going to be a jerk. Super simple. Real thin. Yeah, let's go thinner than that. My little belly. And I'm just going to scribble all over this wood until I get a shape I want. My blade is getting dull. Time for a new blade. Much better. Safety tip. When throwing away these blades, I always like to wrap them in some tape so that when someone goes and pushes down the trash to make more room, they don't encounter a nice, nasty little surprise. Before I get too far and rounding this thing off, I need to remember to take care of the clip. I really like using these because they're super sharp and I can replace the blades all the time without having to like sharpen the things. But the downside, I mean, look at these gouges in the side. That's because of when I'm doing something like this edge right here, that metal is scraping across the side. It's really tough to avoid doing that. Suppose I should get a real carving knife at some point. It's pretty smooth. This is awfully narrow. I'm going to have to really make a really long anchor through that one. I'm going to seal the wood, and then I'm going to start loading it up. Well, let's drill some holes first. I always kind of press a hole in it. I don't have a punch to make that hole, to make sure I don't wander. This is so thin. I'm afraid of this drill busting this wood. It's in there, but it is awfully thin. I may have to, instead of super glue, epoxy this one in. I forgot to drill dry eye holes. Yeah, I'm very forgetful. I am constantly forgetting stuff. In fact, I put a sheet up here for me to write my steps on so that I don't forget this kind of crap. And I have not written it up there, obviously. And here I am continuing to forget crap. Funny, without the lip, it looks like he's screaming. Reseal. Drill a lead hole, and need to test this thing in the tank and see if I can get it to suspend. I'm gonna put just enough weight in, so I'm gonna put some hooks, just kind of dangle some hooks off it, and probably literally just tape some lead to the side of this thing until I get the right number. Okay, so seriously, the difference is this tiny sliver of lead. It syncs with this, it doesn't without it, and I'm wondering if leaving it the way it is without this, once I get the clear coat on, the baking soda and super glue to fill in the cracks, that is going to weigh as much as this little dinky piece, and she's going to either sink or hopefully suspend perfectly. We'll find out. I have a feeling this baking soda is going to be just enough weight to make this thing sink very slowly. This happens a lot. Yeah. Time to paint. I think I'm gonna try some of this stuff on it. That'll be nice and flashy. What if the heat gun will shrink wrap this around it? I have seen people do that, but of course that wasn't a Christmas wrapping bag that they did it to, so who knows? I might just melt this and end up ruining it. Okay, so this stuff does not take well to the heat gun. It's going to shrivel up if I hit it too much more. I'm going to have to just leave it like this. I had shriveled up on the tail. I had to kind of cut that off. So I did the same on the other side, and it's just going to get a solid color at the end here. Just kind of shave off some of what's sticking up. Little bit of a ledge up here that I'm going to just kind of shave off. So I mixed a little bit of black, actually a lot of black. There's a little bit of silver left over from my last, and then a touch of the metallic blue. I probably should have done something about that hole. When I drilled that, I went all the way through accidentally. I thought I wouldn't see it after painting, but man, it is still there. Should have filled it in with something. Put a little bit of color on this. Just a little bit of pink on the belly. Maybe a little more. That's not bad. Clear coat on. Let her dry, stick some hooks on her, throw her in the lake. Yeah. This stuff was just enough to make it just barely sink. Hopefully that's not too bad. If I direct tie, it'll be fine. If I put a swivel clasp on, quick connect, then it's probably going to sink a lot faster. So it kind of turned out looking like this guy's big brother. Well, it sinks a little bit. It's going to sink more with the clasp. That's not ideal, but hopefully it sinks slow enough that I can still impart some action on it. Yeah, she floats. I had a clip-on there, and it was definitely too heavy. Took the nose right down into the water, sunk it. Doesn't swim too bad. I would say the jerking action isn't the greatest. It just kind of, it jerks, but it only ever jerks to the one side. It doesn't jerk back to the left. It jerks, you know, that time it did.